Hello, everyone, and welcome to Got Thrones, a Game of Thrones podcast. I am your host, Johnny Kolasinski, and with me, as ever and always, is my good friend and co-host, Alexandra August.
Hello, everyone.
We are here as part of our crash course into House of the Dragon to discuss Season 2, Episode 4 of the series, The Red Dragon and the Gold. If you're not familiar with what we're doing here, show's coming back in roughly 4 weeks now, I think to the day, and as we're recording this. And so in preparation for June 22nd and Season 3, we are just doing a quick dive into everything that happened. There's a lot that happens in this show, so we kind of want to get you caught back up without you necessarily having to go through the trauma of everything going so poorly for everyone all the time in a beautiful way.
Yeah, it's much more beautiful than what's happening in our world right now.
Yeah.
Which is just a lot of really ugly people doing really ugly things with no dragons, which I know is a good thing overall, but like rhetorically, I feel like it would at least be more exciting.
I don't know. As we're recording this, LA may or may not explode.
Did you also hear about our oil spill?
Oh, yeah. And you had the oil spill.
Yeah.
And Spencer Pratt.
And Spencer Pratt. I don't... I'm so tired.
But yeah, that's not what people are here for, though, and no one wants to hear about Spencer Pratt.
No one ever wants to.
If you do want to hear more about us possibly comparing Spencer Pratt to things, you can find us on Instagram at Got Thrones, on TikTok at Got_Thrones, and on the YouTubes at Got Thrones Podcast. And you can find this podcast right here, wherever you're listening to it right now.
Wherever you're listening.
All right. So do you want to just get right down to it and do our little recap of the Red Dragon and the Gold?
Absolutely, folks. We're going to evolve a little bit from what we've been doing to now ease into recaps that are more based on location, since we're more in a Game of Thrones space when we've got a bunch of different people in a bunch of different places, and it might help to give everyone at the top just a little bit of a review of what pieces are doing what where on the board. So, Johnny, do you want to start?
I'll kick us off with Harrenhal, where we have Daemon is haunted by visions, including a vision of killing Rhaenyra and seeing Laena after encounters with the mysterious Alice Rivers and her potion. He also unnerves young Oscar Tully by suggesting that Tully hastened the death of his grandfather, and he gains Sir Willem Blackwood's support in exchange for action against House Bracken.
On Driftmark, Rhaenys confronts Corlys about his illegitimate son Alan and urges him to acknowledge him before they leave for Dragonstone to stabilize Rhaenyra's council.
Meanwhile, at Duskendale, Criston Cole captures a castle and executes Lord Darklyn for remaining loyal to Rhaenyra. He then plans a risky daytime assault on Rook's Rest, despite warnings that it could draw dragonfire.
In King's Landing, Alicent secretly seeks abortifacient tea while questioning Viserys' intentions. Aegon grows increasingly sidelined and humiliated by Aemond and his council, and, frustrated and drunk, decides to fly to Rook's Rest himself.
At Dragonstone, Rhaenyra has returned home, ready for war, and she insists on defending Rook's Rest, but ultimately allows Rhaenys to be the one to go in her place, riding her dragon Meleys, while she passes the story of the Song of Ice and Fire on to her heir, Jace.
At Rook's Rest, Rhaenys initially devastates Criston's forces until Aegon arrives on Sunfire and is overpowered, after which Aemond joins on Vhagar and, prioritizing victory, burns both sides, gravely injuring Aegon.
And as we leave Rook's Rest, Rhaenys and Meleys fight Vhagar, but are ultimately killed in a surprise counterattack, and Criston awakens from being knocked the F out to find Aemond standing over the critically wounded Aegon.
What a great episode. That was very kind of the AI and Wikipedia recap to give Aemond the grace to say that he prioritized victory when he tried to kill his brother.
Yeah, yeah. He did prioritize victory, specifically Aemon's victory.
Yes.
And Kristen Cole found Aemon standing over the critically wounded Aegon with his sword
Yeah.
drawn.
Yeah. Clear intent. Clear intent.
Yeah, yeah. This is like we got the best Aemon we ever get in this episode, and that's not very good.
No. No.
I my top moments, honestly, will include both Aemon basically rolling his eyes when he
I.
sees Aegon showing up. Like, just this fucking
This
guy.
fucking guy. Look how small your dragon is. This was what I.
And oh, I was going to say, and also that moment of I was 50-50 on whether Aemon was going to go for Kristen Cole and Aemon in that little knockout moment when Kristen wakes up.
Yeah. Yeah. Aemond is leaning into his power, as we should
Hmm.
say. I think this is a good. Should we transition into our top moments? Because
Yeah,
mine,
yeah.
yeah,
'Cause those were definitely mine, or among mine.
I will. That I'll start off. I'll start us off. This really really enjoyed. There's a scene between Allison and Laris early in the episode where Laris, who's such a petty bitch, is so jealous that Allison actually wants to have sex with Kristen as opposed to just being forced into doing it or forced into showing Laris her feet just as
Yeah.
an even trade. Laris tries to kind of get her to say something about to kind of admit the fact that that Kristen is her paramour and the drama between them stems from that, but she doesn't. And he calls it an indulgence, which I don't know. I like that there's always so much subtext with him because he's such a girl. In the way that he uses his words, and I mean that as a compliment. All of the men in this episode are completely incompetent. Most of them, at least. Like Kristen's a terrible manager. Aegon is not a good king, which he knows, which is why he flies off drunk into battle. Yeah, and honestly, Vhagar is a woman. Vhagar is a girl. I have named her Regina George. That's just me in my head. But yeah, Vhagar's a woman, and she's doing all the work. But yeah, that and then this was I was not looking forward to watching this episode, to be honest, because I love Rhaenys so much, and it's such a like she's only ever done her job and it still doesn't work out, and she
Hmm.
still has it's just yeah, like it's really painful to watch her death. But I forgot how good the battle at Rook's Rest is. Like it's really brilliant in the sense of you see why it's stupid. You see the people at Rook's Rest being like, "Wait, really? Us? Are you what? Why?" And I don't know, it was just a really, I liked how you could see in the Battle of the Bastards in a way that you couldn't in the Long Night. You can see all of the elements and how they're moving. The way they shot it and the way they set it up
Hmm.
narratively, you know what the stakes are, you know what's happening. You see every kind of narrative piece of the battle happen. But I loved, yeah, those are my big ones. The Laris scene, and then the Battle of Rook's Rest. And also Kristen kind of being like Jamie and realizing that the poor guy is like all ash and that dragons are not great to have on the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah. I loved the battle, and I like this felt like Apocalypse Now or the Kubrick Full Metal Jacket. It was the horrors of war in a way that felt very modern, and I really appreciated that.
That's
I
very well
also
said.
the when we kind of postponed recording this episode a bit, I did a second watch through, but just on a drive home, and so I just had it playing as audio, and just hearing the audio of the druggy visions that Damon was having was a blast as I was sitting in San Diego traffic.
Oh my god, I want to try that. Tell me more.
It just made it trippier because
I'll bet.
there's just the pauses and there's like drips of water and things like me.
I would
It
say
was
like
great.
as a character.
So kudos to the I did.
Harrenhal just simply as a character never disappoints. Like
Yeah.
I love like Winterfell is home. And Winterfell you just get is like
Hmm.
far enough away from bullshit and practically enough minded to be a pretty functioning, workable place. The way I think of the North is the way I think about the North of the United States versus warmer climates and kind of the Midwest. There's a practicality to Midwesterners, and I think New Englanders a little bit that is sometimes a basis for comparison to the South, I would say. And not to, this is not to be insulting, but like I don't know, I live in Southern California, and having come from Ohio, there's just a lot of crazy people here who are able to survive in ways that I simply do not think you could if you had to deal with winter. Yeah, and
I,
so
I'm gonna say now that I feel like David and Dan missed a beat by giving the accent that they did to Ned and John.
as opposed to like,
Oh, when they could, the North remembers, don't you know? Oh yeah,
yes.
oh Ed, fetch me my luck.
Yeah, and so Harrenhal, I like in this. I don't know. I like that Winterfell has a personality. King's Landing, like the Red Keep, has a personality, but Harrenhal has a
Hmm.
personality with a capital P. Nobody wants to go to Harrenhal. People who live at Harrenhal don't want to fucking be there. Nothing good happens at Harrenhal. It's
Yeah,
huge. Like,
and I think we get that more in the books than we do in Game of Thrones, the series, because the time we spend at Harrenhal, unless I'm forgetting, is mostly that season 2 with Tywin and Arya, which
yeah,
was phenomenal. But they hadn't quite found okay, this is what Harrenhal is because this is how we're giving these areas their character in a way that I feel like they did. Maybe with the Eyrie for the first time was where we really
yeah,
saw that of a
very much so. I agree with
outside of
that.
Winterfell and King's Landing.
I'm trying to think of other places. Maybe Vastothrak when Danny
Yeah,
goes there
yeah.
a little bit. But yeah, did you have any other moments that you wanted to chat about or bring up?
Those were really my big ones. I did really, and it's a conversation we had either 2 episodes ago or three, but the doomed conversation of Rhaenys and Corlys of, hey,
No.
this is coming out of nowhere, but maybe you should name your bastards your heir. We can talk about this later,
Mm-hmm.
but
Maybe
just
think
an
about that.
idea.
Maybe think about that.
Like, again, I feel like to an extent that goes to the conversation that Renice and Allison had about how they rule,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or how Allison thinks that a woman rules, versus Renice, which it was more of a equality situation
How do you
for the
mean?
most part. In that she's not guiding, she's saying.
Yeah, I think, well, and Renice seems to be somebody who operates on consensus. She doesn't give orders.
Hmm.
I think she understands that, listen, you can't order people to do shit they don't want to do. Her grandfather tried to make her queen. It didn't work. And so I
Hmm.
feel like you could say that perspective was perhaps born out of that and just somebody who doesn't want to fight and is just decided to be the smartest person in the room at all times and to show people like, yeah, you could do it the dumb way, or and has found her power that way, which is why she is as wise as she is, and why she is usually right, is
Hmm.
because she kind of decenters herself. She doesn't need to win every conversation that she has the way Damon does, which like poor, yeah, oh man, poor Grover Tully. What a
Yeah,
Sesame Street
I wish
character.
we'd gotten. I know that the who could have fixed this is coming a little bit later, but if Viserys had just had Rhaenys as his hand as opposed to Otto, with that though, shall we go to the boards?
Let's go to the boards. What's our dragon count,
Our
friend?
dragon count, it has changed. Or I think the first time no, not quite the first time this season. First time this episode, huh? We are now at 15 surviving dragons, 11 on Rhaenys's team black, 4 remaining on Alicent and Aegon and Aemon's team green.
Yeah. They Melis perishes. We see her die. We see Vagar just come take just a chomp right out of her neck and kind of
Hmm.
shake it. And then you see Renice and Melis. Renice look at Melis dying. And
Hmm.
it's really sad.
So yeah, that's our first major dragon death, though I think. No, I keep forgetting Jace was this season, wasn't he?
No.
Was that end of
Yes.
season two? That was yeah, you're right. That was end of
End of
season one.
season 1. Yeah.
And by Jace I mean Luke.
Yes. Yes. We're all straight, guys. Guys. And
Hmm.
then Luke was riding Maxwell Sheffield, the dragon. So we're all caught up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. Oh, go ahead.
Team Black has taken some hits on the dragon side, but they still vastly outnumber Team Green. But Vagar's worth perhaps a couple more of the dragons on Team Black's side,
Yeah.
as we see today. And also as we see next episode when Reyna goes to the Eyrie with presents
Hmm.
for Lady Jane Eyre, who is not spectacularly appreciative.
That is, yeah. As I think happens for most of this season, it's only it's been hours to days
Yep.
since last episode.
Yeah.
This
We
war is moving very quickly.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Nobody wanted dragons on the field, and boy, are they on the field. And we did get some fun intros. We got the Blackwoods. Sir Willem Blackwood, we actually saw the younger version of in season 1. He asked for Rhaenyra's hand in marriage. He was a bebe, and he ingratiates himself to Daemon by saying, I wanted to marry your wife. And thinks he's like pretty hot shit using his favor with Daemon to further fuck with the Brackens, which
Hmm.
River Lords. I was thinking today in terms of parallels that we could draw. I always thought the Lannisters and in the West, like they felt like Texans. I don't quite know where to place King's Landing. Sometimes it feels like New York, sometimes it doesn't. But I feel like the River Lords scream the Ozarks to me. Just throwing that out
Okay.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. At some point in time, we're going to see them running moonshine, sort of thing.
You right? That felt like Walter Frey's like general vibe of just like I'm powerful but trashy.
Hmm.
Dirty floors.
We didn't meet Alice Rivers, but this is the first time we really got to know Alice Rivers, and I'm going to let you go with that because I know you have a soft spot in your heart for Miss
I
Alice Rivers.
Oh my god, I love Alice Rivers so much. Alice Rivers is my spirit animal. She's so fucking cool. Um this is one of our first scenes with Alice Rivers, and she is running Damon from the moment she sets eyes on him. Gets him to drink whatever it is she's giving him to drink, which I feel like we're just watching her grind up hallucinogens to put it in this tea so she can hand it to him and be like,
Yeah.
go to sleep, baby boy. Let's have some fun. And also, this probably isn't even her A storyline. I bet Alice Rivers is like has her own television show where she's charmed or something, and she's battling demons on a weekly basis for Harrenhal because Harrenhal's probably got infestations out the wazoo that Alice Rivers has to take care of. Meanwhile, this glam rock prince wanders in and is like, I own this place. And she's like, okay, sweetie, why don't you take a nap?
Yeah.
I'll talk to you
I mean,
tomorrow.
I need to go back to dealing with House Winchester.
Yeah. And then we get a scene with one of Catelyn Tully's ancestors, Oscar Tully, who is subbing in for his grandfather, Grover, his grandsire.
I just want to say that George has specifically stated that yes, he did that on purpose.
What do you mean?
That it's Oscar and Grover.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Sesame Street Tully.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar and Grover. Yeah, and he is the kid who's just poor kid who's just really just trying to do a good job. And Damon's like, "You want to kill your grandfather for me? Speed it along. You got a
Mm-hmm.
pillow," which was ultimately funny, but also read the room, Damon.
Honestly, that's the most diplomatic Damon has been.
You're not
Because
wrong.
normally it'd be you got to rock.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
What did we? I don't know that there was anything particularly romantic this episode outside of Laris trying to get Alicent to like him. Yeah. I'm sorry, Johnny.
You can just drop in my 3 episode ago rant about Laris because it remains the same, but more so. Yeah, the only other, again, we got this isn't, this is their last moment together. They don't know it, but we all kind of know it because we've seen this series before with Corlys and Rhaenys. But Yeah, no new romances.
So, speaking of who dies,
We lost Renice, and that's honestly, I think, the biggest loss of the series so far,
I agree.
as far as characters that are pulling weight. Viserys obviously had to die at some point. Luke, I can't even remember his name half the time. Um,
Luke's death doesn't resonate as loudly as Rhaenys's does. It's very
yeah,
sad, but
yeah, this was in the not a catalyst for anything deaths, like the worst we could have gotten.
ugh, yeah. And it's because again, all Rhaenys does is her job. That's it. Rhaenyra wants to go and defend Rook's Rest, so I feel Rhaenys and Rhaenyra are probably comparable in terms of dragon riders. I would say that Rhaenys is probably better. Um, Given I think she's probably done a lot more of it, especially in terms of some kind, I don't know, fighting crime. And so I
Yeah,
think we have every reason to believe that Rhaenyra would have died had their positions been switched. And Rhaenys very intelligently says, listen, if anybody's going to go, it should probably be me. It shouldn't be you. It shouldn't be your heir. And she does. And little fuckface on Regina George gets lucky,
pretty much.
pretty much.
Um,
Yeah, it's Rhaenys is so sad.
Matt Smith hates women.
This character certainly does. Um, yeah, it's yeah, it's just so sad. It's just so sad. Actually, I will
I
say it
do
was
feel though. Oh, go ahead.
it was wonderful to see. It's always wonderful to see a woman in battle the way that Daenerys was in battle. Part of Battle of the
Mhm.
Bastards is that she half of that is in Marine or wherever the fuck and Essos, and she not only is riding one dragon, she's commanding three of them. And it's just really incredible to watch that. And so I like that we see that. I like that House of the Dragon has really made it a tradition of dragon riding, that there are women and then there are women dragon riders. And the Targaryen women who are dragon riders have a lot more freedom. They get to wear pants and they have a lot more agency. So it was a pleasure to see Rhaenys be the most valuable player, if not parent, in this on that team in a lot of ways. Very satisfying. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, just that. So in our notes, we've got who died, and the next one we have is Meleys the dragon. I don't, with the exception of Vagar, I don't know that we have a feel for any of the dragons.
No. I made a video on our TikTok just of like jokes about naming them different things because
Mhm.
there are so many of them. But when I was looking up pictures of each dragon, I'm like, damn, I couldn't have picked any of you out from a crowd aside from Meleys and Vagar because Vagar is so huge and old, and
Yeah,
Meleys we've seen a couple of
and
times.
Meleys featured in the at the Dragon Pit.
Meleys knows how to make an entrance.
Yep, and unfortunately an exit.
Yes. Yes, she did. Graceful till the end. Also, soldiers died. Lots of dudes.
So many soldiers.
I'm,
So many soldiers.
yeah. Who do you think could have fixed it all? I liked what you said about Viserys. Had he just been as progressive as his
Yeah.
uncle or whatever, or his grandfather? I don't know. I forgot who Viserys is related to.
I think that it would have been Aegon showing up didn't do anything except for throw a wrench into the already laid plans of Kristen and Aemond. So Aemon staying home, or Aegon staying home, pardon me, would have fixed next week, but not this week.
Yeah, great job, Kristen. Who did you have slaying this week? Who actually had a good week? Or who, I don't know, who slayed?
Aemond was his most Aemondiest, and he managed not to actually kill his brother. And so I can kind of give it to him, but that's really it.
Yeah, I found myself giving this one to Renice because, again, she did her job. and she just
Mhm.
does. Renice is the one who makes all the correct choices, I guess we could say. She is the person, she shows love to the people she needs to, who need it from her. She puts her pride aside and points out an obvious solution for Corliss's heir and people who might be better suited to it than their son Lenor. And she makes the choice that, and she points out the obvious, that it really shouldn't be Rhaenyra flying into this battle that is of strategic importance, but not of enough strategic importance for Rhaenyra to do it, and then basically make everything that they've done completely useless.
And who would you say got cut?
Aegon,
Yeah.
really not, he's not great at this job. And his
No,
brother was like, let me just help you with that. And don't drink and dragon,
I'm gonna
folks.
don't drink and dragon. Buzzed riding is drunk riding.
Poor Sunfire. Boy, Sunfire got cut. That's what I should have said. Poor little
Oh
guy.
yeah,
Poor little wing. Ugh.
I would have to say Kristen Cole for the 15th time.
Talk about failing
'Cause,
up.
yeah, first your boss shows up unexpected, and then basically he gets laid out for half the episode and wakes up to Aegon's almost dead. Aemond wants to finish the job. I still somehow won this battle, but also I've got tinnitus. Like,
Yep. Yep. And his girl is mad at him. Else, like,
mhm.
things are chilly everywhere. I really wish Kristen would learn from his decisions. Who's your most valuable parent?
So that one, it's step parenting, but I'm giving it to Renice for the aforementioned scene with Corlys, and also for saying, Rhaenyra, you stay home.
Yep. Yep. Mine was Alicent. Um.
If you're finally
Oh, go on.
laying the smackdown on Aegon,
Yes. Yes. I enjoyed that a lot. Alicent is so out of fucks this
yeah.
episode. It's my favorite version of Alicent. She's just fucking over it, and it's great. And I liked that she was like, "Your dad." Basically, everyone's telling Aegon that his dad was right about him. So yeah.
There's a version of Aegon that says, yeah, yeah, he was.
And last but not least, who is your Queen of Love and Beauty?
That I also have to give to Renice.
Truly,
Again, for getting the job done.
getting that job done. I gave it to Alice Rivers, which is probably going to happen
I
again.
thought you might. This was a good episode.
I agree. Really, it's yeah. So much happened and everything was pretty meaningful. And that again, as depressing as the end of the Battle of Rook's Rest is, it's there. This show is good at that. The show is really like The Walking Dead was good at teaching you that slow moving zombies really can do some damage every time. Every time I thought people were gonna get away, they didn't. This show manages to surprise us with how well wrought these battle sequences are with all kinds of different elements. So, hats off.
And yeah, with that, I think that we will be back soon to discuss episode 5 of season 2. And there's only 4 left, right?
This is the halfway point
We
of the
are,
season.
it is. It is moving quickly, both in just number of episodes, but also they're actually getting stuff done.
Yeah. It will, as depressing again as this episode can be, it is comparatively to season one. Season two really does move with a sense of urgency that I appreciate.
Yeah. So much more happening now.
Much more happening.
Right. So yeah, we will be back to discuss the Regent with you very soon.
Very soon.